Om Shantam Shashwatapramehamanagam Nirvana Shanti Pradam Brahma Shamupharindra Sevamanisham Vedanta Vedam Vedam Ramakhyam Jagadishwaram Surgurum Maya Manushyam Harim Vandeham Karunakaram Raghuvaram Gopal Chura. Hi friends, a very good evening to you, and you are all welcome. And first of all, I pray to the God Almighty that may all of you remain happy and get reasons to get satisfied by life, which is very difficult. Few days ago, somebody said that you are posting lectures. I said yes, they are raw lectures. That is more for my satisfaction than for the satisfaction of somebody else. Like Goswami Tulsidas writes in Ramayana, Swanta Sukhaya Tulsi Raghunatha Gatha, for self-saturation, self-happiness, happiness of the self. So basically I am not delivering the lecture on Gita. In all my past lectures, they were not on Gita. They were on spirituality. Though Gita is entirely about spirituality, no doubt about this. But what I have decided is, as when I was young and I used to read Gita verses by verses and shloka by shloka, it all became very complicated. It was like the photograph of Lord Krishna, most of you must have seen on the cover of Gita, where the Lord stands up with one of his legs bending upon the another leg. To which Swami Chinmayanand says, ईश्वर टेढ़े हैं, सीधे नहीं उतरते. So in every attempt made by people, as I found, maybe that may be my limitation, I found that people ultimately remain confused. What is the purport of the Gita when we try to delve into it phrase by phrase, slok by slok? There is a very famous incident also, and that is true also, but who told me I really do not remember. After the Mahabharata war was over, first of all I would request you all to forgive me, because normally I speak with my eyes closed. The reason is very simple. I am immersed in that divine light, and anything away from it is a distraction for me. Though my mind is powerful enough and it doesn't get distracted. But if I have the liberty to close my eyes, I would rather do that. Maybe practicing those moments when I leave my body, the eyes will remain closed. And I cherish that moment in my life to come, because I am fully prepared to welcome the death. So it is discourse on spirituality and an attempt to make the Hindu religion simpler and simpler. Swami Vivekananda writes one thing that always I remember. He says कि हिंदुओं का सारा धर्म कर्म तो रसोई घर में घुस गया है। और ये बिल्कुल सही बात है। आप माताएं बहनें ध्यान करें और आपके घर के सदस्य ध्यान करें। कम से कम मेरे घर में तो यही होता था कि जिस दिन माताएं उपवास रहती और शाम को जब फलाहार इत्यादि लेती हैं तो इतने तरह के व्यंजन बनते हैं कि ऐसा लगता है कि किसी उत्सव में भोजन हो रहा हो, किसी की शादी, किसी की बारात का भोजन। If you want to listen from me, the last 25 years of my life, sometimes I have spent in so much of scarcity in respect of everything, including money, that I had no option but to go to a hotel to have my lunch. Sitting on the table, and on my left and right, there used to be two persons, both drunk and still drinking, and I used to sit in between them, eating my meal, and even worse than that. You see, the God accepts easily, but dispenses with great difficulty. There are many issues actually, a lot of issues. Hindu religion, if somebody can understand and study deeply and then practice deeply and then can reach to realization, you would find there was no concept of Shudras as it was defined after independence. Rajneesh writes that the flow of that divine energy within the body gives you four kinds of results. One is that your instinct for jnana grows. To another person it may be instinct of a warriorship that grows. To another person it may be the instinct of a businessman or somebody who is interested in making profit. That goes. And for someone, for most of the people or less number of people, that flow of energy is directed in such a manner that they themselves get involved into labor and menial works. I will give you another interesting description of these four varnas to which Sri Krishna begins the shloka Chaturvarnyam Maya Shashti. By birth everybody is Shudra. When he grows and becomes a child of 8 or 10 or 12 years, then he has more freedom to play, move around, but still he is under control of his or her parents. This is the stage of the body when we become Vaishya. When we further grow, we start taking decisions of our own selves in respect of our own lives. But is still constrained by social limitations, is still controlled. At this stage, we take decision of ourselves and we try to establish our decision and personality in society, for which we have to fight a lot. And that is the state of the mind, which is called Kshatriya. And the final stages, the great stage of self-discipline, by realizing the self, the magnificent self. And since we are ourselves practicing self-discipline, there is no constraint on us. And this stage of body, this growth of body, to this stage is Brahmana. So Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra basically are 4 different states of our body and mind. Till 15th century, India was one of the richest country. Actually, I was listening a few days ago to Dr. Shashi Tharoor for extraordinary dispensation of the facts and enormous knowledge and wonderful English. I have really very high regard for that fellow. And I'm really sad that some 6 months or 1 year ago, his wife, Sunanda, probably committed suicide. So yesterday I was listening some statement made by Dr. Shashi Tharoor, and he was pointing out that till 15th century in India, we were so ahead of all other countries in 2 industries. One was shipbuilding, another was clothes manufacturing. And they were systematically destroyed by Britons. India was never in such a dilapidated state as it is now. But what is the solution? So Krishna has already hinted a solution, which I call the Brahma Sutra. Lord Krishna says, Soi soi karmanya abhirata. Whatever you are doing, if we want to get out of this situation, whatever we are doing, irrespective of man and woman, caste, creed, and gender, abhirata, do it as excellently as possible. India will thrive with enormous energy of the mind of nearly 1.25 billion people. When we change our attitude to our own work and try to bring excellence, no extra practicing of any kind of religious ethos or any sermon from the mount or anything extra is required. It is psychology, it is not religion, so to say. It doesn't conflict it doesn't conflict Islam, or it doesn't conflict Bible. It is purely a psychology. So when you try to bring excellence into your work, the moment you start doing it, you become religious. And the blocked zones of hidden energy which are locked in your mind because of different experiences that you are gathering over thousands of years through many births, they start opening up and a lot of energy is released just by this factor. Our administration has failed. Actually, I always think the administrators have almost failed this country. They could never think what is to be delivered at the ground level. At the ground level, we had to think of roti, kapda or makan nahi. To make the people over there self-motivated. Techniques are there. Solutions are there. But we Indians are Indians. Only because of the fact that we have got all the solutions and we have got all the problems. So far, so good. We have all the solutions and we have all the problems. The reason is India is a country of sages and prophets, and humanity has been held upon such a high stream, up to such a high stream, that Nanak says at one point, Ram the Churiya, Ram the Khet, Chuglo Churiya Barbar Pet. The vision is so vast, because if somebody allows, who has been entrusted with the task of looking after a farm, and he sings that, oh birds, please come. Not only please come, but you start eating the grains which have been sown up. So the Indian religion is a very peculiar religion. It gives many reasons to take plunge into river Ganges and feel free. But let me tell you, though it looks aberration to many people, but that is a great psychology builder. If you can think deeply, around 1 crore or 2 crores of people taking plunge into river Ganges with the assumption that all their sins are washed off may be incorrect. Scientifically speaking, but from the word go, the Indians knew that the investigation of the Lord, the search of the Lord, is not a matter of science and reason. That experience is beyond science and reason. And let me tell you one thing very frankly. I still remember about Bjorn Borg. Bjorn Borg was the first tennis player who won 5 Wimbledon titles in a row. So when Bjorn Borg used to take stands while he was taking training from his master, he always used to put the wrong foot forward while serving. His coach tried to correct him many times. But it could not happen with the Borg, that he could adjust with what his master was telling. Ultimately, his master succumbed and surrendered and said, okay, now you serve. And then he won 5 Wimbledons. There are people who take the luxury of criticizing the Hindu religion for worshipping the stone god, taking plunges in river Ganges. They must know we are the only religion which, because of these little stupidities probably, brought us to the realization of Aham Brahmasmi, Shivoham, Tattvamasi, Eko Brahma Dutiyo Nasti, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Beware. You people are dealing with the most genius and intuitive creed on earth. Don't discourage Indians from whatever they are doing. We have solved the problem of universe many times as when we export, particularly when we exported Buddha. We'll solve our problems. It's a wonderful country and it is blessed. We'll solve our problems. Don't worry. Par dharmo bhayavaha. So Krishna says, let me give advice to Pakistan and China that they should not take interest in what is happening in India because that is the nature of the India. Out of faith and in love. Par dharmo bhayavaha. Don't see मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, ये देखो तुम क्या कर रहे हो. The moment तुम ये देखने लगोगे कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ और उसको इमिटेट करने की कोशिश करोगे, you will be washed off. And that situation is almost existing. And with my psychological intuitiveness, as much as I can see, people living in Pakistan and people living in China have already failed the great test of life. And prosperity is only there where the life is. And in my country, even a peasant, even a worker, even a laborer knows how to enjoy life and how to finally, at the end of the day, during night, sleep on the lap of the God. Thank you very much. I will request Mr. Prashant to come and take charge.